Aloha and welcome to the Embodied Healing Self podcast with your host, Jen Mons. Each week, join me for soul-inspired, conscious conversations around embodied healing and awakening to your soul's purpose. Thank you for listening in. Aloha, my soul family. Thank you for joining me again this week for another episode on the Embodied Healing Self. I have a special invitation to share with you this week. Many of you know that I love living in alignment with the moon cycles, and particularly the new moon cycle, which is a wonderful opportunity to set new intentions and create change and to alchemize what we want to call into our lives. And for the new moon in Scorpio, November 13th and 14th, I will be hosting my first virtual retreat. After canceling 2 retreats, one in Costa Rica and one at the Kashi Ashram this year, and also my live event, Illuminate, I surrendered to the idea of hosting a online virtual retreat. So I welcome you and invite you to this deep dive and discovery into shadow work. Together, we're going to explore wounding around the divine feminine and masculine. We're going to transmute our fears, our blocks, our limiting beliefs that are on the subconscious energetic level to our gifts, to our gold, our truth, our essence. We're going to do this through a 6-step activation, which is to awaken, align, attune, amplify, and alchemize. I have a wonderful group of guest teachers that will be a part of this retreat. We will experience everything from the shadows to the fear to the celebration together, so that by the end of the weekend, you will set yourself free and be liberated from anything that you feel is holding you back. It is our time to fully embody our own awakened healer and our own soul wisdom. And so for you listeners on the show, I invite you to join me for this Inner Radiance retreat. It's going to be experiential. There will be movement and partner shares and connection and learning and celebration and transmuting and peeling back the layers of subconscious beliefs and fears and looking right into the shadow and transmuting it into your gold, into your essence, into your greatest gift. So if you're ready and you're looking for that connection that has been such a vital part of everyone who is thriving right now, then we invite you to join your soul tribe at the Inner Radiance virtual retreat, November 13th and 14th. Check the link in the show notes or go to jenmons.com/Inner Radiance Workshop, and we'll see you then. Aloha, friends and family. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Embodied Healing Self. So this week, we're going to dive back into the topic around the energy body. One of my favorite topics to discuss with both my community, my clients, and on the show. It's really the space that I love to live in, to explore, to dive deep into in the understanding of the human experience and our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. And what inspired me to bring this topic to you was that I've been teaching a lot about healing the subconscious through the energy body in our community lately. My work has been inspired largely by Dr. Peter Levine, Waking the Tiger, and my own personal experience, which led me to understand how we hold experiences on a cellular level that our conscious mind is not even aware of. And so we talk about the emotional imprinting, the genetic, the ancestral imprinting within the energy and astral bodies, and emotional and physical and mental bodies as it relates to our physical body. One of the questions that came up in
one of the workshops that I was teaching the other day is, how do I know if my chakras are blocked? And I thought, well, that's a really, really great question. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the needs, the underlying emotions and needs that can come up around understanding the energy body as it relates to the chakras, the 7 energy centers within the body. So one of the resources that I first started to learn and understand around chakras when I was doing my yoga teacher training back in 2014 was The Wheels of Life by Anodea Judith. So recommend that source for reading if you're interested in finding out more. But to create the framework for this conversation, I'm just going to share with you what the energy body is and how it relates to the chakras within the physical body, which are the energy centers in the physical body. So we're not going to get too far into the energy bodies that extend beyond the physical body, although there are those bodies that do also hold consciousness beyond the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, the astral body, the etheric bodies. Understanding that we have sort of energy fields that extend beyond our physical body, and that there are 6 chakras that extend beyond the physical body and the 7 centers within the body. Today we're going to talk about the 7 that are within the body. So if you haven't listened to my podcast episodes before on the chakras, I invite you to go and listen to those episodes. And just to give you the framework for those of you that may not be familiar with it, there are 7 energy centers within the body. So we start with the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine, often identified with the color, it is identified with the color red. And we know that this is the chakra of safety, security, our worth, our very primal, our rooted, grounded knowing of being here. Then we move up into the sacral chakra, the color orange. This is the womb, the place of creativity, the place of joy, pleasure, receiving, and abundance. And then from there we go up into the solar plexus, which is the area of all of our vital organs, sort of mid to upper back region. So the area of vitality, strong will, and confidence too. We move up to the 4th chakra, which is the heart, the color green, which is, our connection and emotional well-being in the heart chakra. From there, we move into the throat, which is a blue color. The throat is our place of self-expression, speaking our truth. And then we move into the space between the eyebrows, also known as the third eye, the color indigo, a deeper dark blue color. This is our intuition, our insight, our clarity. And from there, chakra number 7, our crown chakra, a magenta purple color, which is our connection to source, which is where we go from there, then beyond, that extends into our energy field from the crown chakra and beyond. So one of the ways that you can identify whether one of your chakras are blocked is just simply by feeling that part of your body. And some of the things that we talk about in our group calls is what movement, what yoga poses, what movement, what foods, maybe essential oils, maybe sounds, vibrations, all resonate with these particular chakras that can help to open them up. So if you're feeling discomfort, resistance, or tightness in any of these areas in the body, for example, if your solar plexus feels tight, right? So there might be an opportunity to explore a blockage in this chakra. On the other side of that, we can experience an imbalance in the chakra, where maybe it's not blocked, but maybe it's too open and being exhausted. So I'm a big teacher of body wisdom, and this is an opportunity when you have the question, how do I know if my chakras are blocked? Really just tuning into, through somatic inquiry, somatic breath work, tuning into the body and asking yourself, where am I feeling? What am I feeling in my body? Where am I noticing something? And allowing that from that place, that body area, that energy center to speak to you. one of the things that I wanted to share as we go through this process together is that I've also had the question come up. I have a hard time, going into my body. I don't know what you mean when you say to go into the body. And so one of the reasons that this happens is because we have become disconnected from our body, from our physical body. Maybe we didn't feel safe in it. Maybe we don't love our body. Maybe we don't feel lovable, worthy, or good enough, or safe in our body. Maybe we had a health crisis and we don't trust our physical body. Maybe there was a relationship where we felt unsafe in that relationship in our body. Maybe we've judged or criticized our physical body. And all of these beliefs have somehow possibly created an unhealthy relationship with our body. And one of the ways that we cope with this is to become disconnected from our body, because either we have judgment or shame or distrust with our physical body. So if you are a person who struggles to connect with your physical body, this is an invitation to find some support in doing some somatic work and going into your body to discover what the emotion is, what the need is underneath for your body, and also the invitation to participate in something that makes you feel good in your body. So movement or dance or sound healing or being in nature or eating delicious, healthy food. It's more about the intention of being present with the sensations in your experience while allowing yourself to experience them within your body. And we talked a little bit about this in the podcast episode 69, The Pleasure Revolution, about the senses and the sensory experience of pleasure, which is one of the highest vibrations of the human experience. So if you are a person who struggles to be in your body, then the invitation is to find a way to enjoy being in your body. Or maybe it's, physical contact or touch, some type of sensory experience in your body. So I'm going to share with you what came through for me as I was talking about the blocked chakras on an emotional level, because sometimes the blockage, we can feel the sensation in physical form, but the physical manifestation is related to some emotional energy, which is often related to a deeper need underneath. And this is what came through for me. So if we're talking about the root chakra, the one of safety, the one of primal being, our rooted essence to being here. Oftentimes we feel out of balance when we have the need to feel safe. And so what we need is nurturing. So whether that nurturing source is from food or connection, it's the way that we nourish and nurture ourselves so that we feel safe and held in our primal essence, our being. Right? This root chakra is what connects us to all other life forms, that connects us to Mother Earth, to, our connection to our mother in the womb. And this is our primal essence of being. And in order to sustain life and life force energy, what we need is nurturing. So if you feel out of balance in the root chakra, if you're feeling ungrounded or disconnected, or on the other side, if you're feeling very overly it can show up sort of like as aggression, like very just firm in your stance and not willing to move. Oftentimes that can be a survivor strategy again, with the need to just allow nurturing. Then we move up into the sacral chakra, the color orange. This happens to be one of my favorite chakras to work with. I've really been seeing a lot of healing and transmuting of energy in this particular chakra as it relates to the throat chakra over the past couple years. This is really the energy of creation, creativity. This is also the portal, the divine portal between worlds for women. As you know, we bring life into this dimension. It comes in through the womb. And so we all hold this energy of creation, whether male or female, within this chakra. It's also an invitation to receive life force energy, which then in turn leads to abundance and joy. So there's a very healing and nurturing energy with the sacral chakra as well. And when we're feeling out of balance, we might be feeling some tightness in our hips. We might be feeling some resistance. We might feel stuck. And some of you who have done body work may know that we hold a lot of our emotions in our hips as well. And so what we need if we're feeling stuck in the sacral chakra is connection. Whether it's connection to another being for the purpose of creation, whether it's connection to source, connection to joy or abundance. But connection is the life force energy that brings forth creation. So either connection to your internal source of creativity, the divine source of energy flowing within you, or connection to others through intimate, deep relationships, through sharing. What we need if we're feeling blocked in this area is connection, because the connection gives us, again, the safety to have that deeper experience, to welcome that abundance, to welcome that balance of giving and receiving, which is all in the sacral chakra. So moving up into the solar plexus, the third chakra, which is our area of confidence and strength and will and standing in our own power, the color yellow. It's also the chakra of vitality. What we can feel if we're blocked is just that tight stomach, or maybe we feel like we got kicked in the stomach, or maybe we feel tightness in the mid-back. Maybe we feel exhausted in our adrenals. So this can show up as two different ways, right? Like sort of this grit to stand where you are and resist, or the imbalance would be the overgiving, which can often stem from a lack of worthiness or confidence, that we tend to overgive or fix others because we don't believe in our own worthiness. This is a really big one that I see that happens when there's an imbalance in the solar plexus chakra. So oftentimes what we need if we're feeling an imbalance in this chakra is peace. Just allowing and flowing. Because what's the opposite of like confidence and strong will is peace and allowing inner peace. And the invitation to go a little deeper on this is that there may be a need for forgiveness, either of self or of someone else. So if you're feeling tightness, and think of all the vital organs that are held in this area, right? Like the gallbladder and the liver and the pancreas and all of the vital organs in the solar plexus chakra. You can think of the emotions associated with the gallbladder and resentment, and the liver and anger, and just noticing what you might feel emotionally in that area, and asking yourself, what is the need underneath that? And because this area has so much vitality and so much fire, what it really needs is water. And what is water? It's flow and inner peace. It's the allowing. So the invitation is to allow this area to soften, to welcome in inner peace, to let go of the need to be right, to let go of the need to be heard, to let go of the anger or resentment, or to stand in your power, to ask for what you need, and allow peace in that process. Moving up into the heart chakra, the color green, this is where we give and receive love through our emotional awareness, our heart intuition, what connects us to everyone and everything around us. And when we feel blocked or imbalanced, we might be or feel or show up as very guarded. It might be difficult for us to allow others to see us, to love us. We might desire to feel more lighthearted. We might feel really heavy if we're carrying a lot in our heart, if we're taking on too much, if we're over giving. Again, the invitation for the balance of giving and receiving. And what we really need is not just love, but unconditional love. Love without condition. So this is where we allow ourselves to see the conscious and the unconscious, the subconscious, the shadow and the gift. This is really about fully embracing and embodying the wholeness of who you are. All of your shadows and gifts, your survivor strategies and your healthy strategies, and allowing and welcoming that unconditional love and compassion. Compassion for all of the experiences that allow you to just be who you are without judgment. And so moving up into the throat chakra, this is the color blue, where we experience the self-expression, speaking our truth. There's a really big movement around this chakra as it relates to the sacral chakra right now that's happening on a global scale in 2020, right? It's like, what are your beliefs and what are your values? How are you balanced in the giving and receiving of life? And how are you showing up in that? How are you expressing that? And so this I also see as it relates to the physical body, and just an understanding that not every time, but the curiosity and the possibility that even with, what I have noticed in particular females is many women struggling with thyroid condition. And so thinking of the energy of a hyperactive thyroid is like the energy of an over aggressive use of the voice, maybe through anger or in an unhealthy way, or the voice out of alignment. And then the hypothyroid energetically just maybe not allowing yourself to speak your truth. And of course, there are physiological and chemical components to thyroid disease, and I'm just speaking to the energy of how we use the energy of our voice as it relates to the throat chakra. And so what the throat chakra needs is acceptance. Acceptance of the truth. Permission to speak the truth through acceptance. So acceptance of your own beliefs. Acceptance of your experiences. Acceptance of how you choose to use your voice or not use your voice to show up. It could be through writing, it could be through singing, it could be through speaking, it could be through having a conversation with a person who hurt you, it could be through words of affirmation or praise with somebody you love. But coming into pure acceptance, the energy of acceptance is the energy that allows the throat to be used for self-expression. Because it's very vulnerable, it can feel very vulnerable to allow that energy to come up through the chakras, through the body, to come out. The throat is like an outlet, it's the gate to what you're experiencing and the outside world. which can feel very vulnerable. I feel it every time I record a podcast. It's a practice of noticing and the energy coming through me to be expressed. And so moving up into the third eye, the color indigo, this is our connection to intuition and clarity and truth. Oftentimes this feels blocked if we're experiencing headaches. We might be out of alignment with our intuition. We might be choosing an experience from our heart, our desires, or from our beliefs rather than our intuition. If you experience headaches energetically. So what this energy center is calling in and what it needs is trust, the energy of trust. Trusting your intuition. Trusting your insights. Trusting your curiosity. It's very different than mental chatter. It's very spaciousness. There's a sacred space here of allowing, observing, witnessing without attachment. Allowing the vision or the clarity, the message to come through you from a place of alignment. Not a place of doing, but a place of being. That place of stillness that creates that trust. That trust in divine timing. That trust in your connection to source, to wisdom, to grace, for that truth to come through. And we all have access to this. We all have access to this intuition, this clear sight of truth. And then we move up into the 7th chakra, the crown chakra. This is our connection to source. This is where we start. This is the point from the physical body and beyond. And so if we're feeling blocked in this way, we're feeling stuck, we're feeling separate, we're feeling alone, we might be feeling some anxiety or fear, abandonment from God consciousness. The invitation, what we need is the acceptance of unity, to realize that we were never separate from source to begin with. It's coming back home to the realization that we were created from the very source that this chakra is connected to. And only our thoughts and beliefs, our experiences, perhaps traumatic experiences, that gave us the feeling of being separate or abandoned from grace, are really just the bigger reflection that the abandonment or the separation was really of self. They're really, the perception that we are separate is the fall from grace. We've never been disconnected. We only perceived that we were. We've never been abandoned. We only believed that we were. But it was in those times that we were probably held the most. So it's an invitation to trust in unity, to trust in something greater than just your own personal experience, to trust in the larger integrated network of source energy, divine light, of God consciousness that connects all of us together. We realize that all of our experiences are beyond just our personal emotions and needs, and we become less attached to the emotions, the thoughts, the beliefs, and the physical body. And we come into unity and wholeness. And then we extend from there beyond to the energy body chakras. But for today, we're going to just talk about those 7 chakras within the physical body. Those are tangible. Many of you have probably seen or heard of those before. So I thank you for being on the show again today. I'd love to hear what curious insights that you may have had just in this share, or maybe what has come through for you in your own healing process, your own awareness around what you've experienced as a blockage that may have created something physically, where there was an emotion that identified in your body physically, which then gave you insight to a particular need. Thank you so much for being here. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you on the show again next week. Aloha.
Hello, friends, and thank you so much for joining me today and being a part of this community. I know there are many other podcasts that you could be tuning into, and I am deeply honored that you chose to listen in and be present with me today. I love and cherish and appreciate you, and I want to invite you to join our tribe and Facebook group under jenmons.com/connect. I would also love to gift you your guide to discovering and overcoming the self-limiting beliefs standing in the way of you living in optimal health, more energy, fulfillment, and self-confidence to create an embodied, healthy, whole you. You can find this at jenmons.com/tribe. I also have one small request to help spread the love. In order for this podcast to show up in the feed of social media platforms of other like-minded people, we need reviews. So please head on over to jenmons.com/podcast to leave a review. You will also find other inspiring episodes on that page. So I personally read these reviews weekly and would love to give you a shout out and share your kind words with our listeners. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Jen Mons or The Holistic Coach with the W Holistic and Jen Mons, JenMons.com. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Aloha.